So Dr. Gazette's Gameful Mindset.
Right.
This isn't about turning your office into a video game arcade.
No, not at all.
It's about applying those same principles.
Yes.
Those clear goals, the feedback, the rewards, this sense of progression.
Exactly.
To motivate and incentivize people in a business context.
Welcome to Meta Yeda with your host, Dr. Elhanan Gazit, your ultimate destination for leaders and creators. Here, we share some of the best metaverse, gaming, and digital innovation news, stories, and insights. Think fast, level up smart. Game on.
Happy belated World Pokémon Day to all you CEOs out there. You might be surprised to find yourselves listening to a deep dive into the world of Pokémon this weekend. But trust me, there are some seriously valuable insights here for anyone leading a company. Think of it as a masterclass in happiness engineering, taught by Pikachu and Charizard themselves.
What's fascinating about Pokémon is how they've managed to build such a passionate and engaged community over decades. It's a testament to their understanding of human psychology and their ability to tap into our desires for connection, achievement, and fun.
Okay, so happiness engineering. I'll admit it sounds a bit, well, fluffy for a CEO's vocabulary. What does that actually look like in the Pokémon world? And how does that translate to a business strategy?
Imagine this. In Pokémon, you can't just command your Pokémon to fight and win. You have to care for them, train them, and even play with them. As you do, their happiness level increases, making them stronger and more effective in battle. This isn't just a cute gimmick. It's a strategic way to get players emotionally invested in their Pokémon.
So it's like that feeling you get when you've finally leveled up your favorite Pokémon, and you know you've put in the work to make it happen. That sense of accomplishment and connection.
Exactly. And in the business world, that translates to customer loyalty. Instead of just selling a product or service, you're creating an experience that makes your customers feel valued, understood, and genuinely happy. They become advocates for your brand. Not just because they like what you sell, but because they feel a connection to it.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Think about those limited edition Pokemon events or those rare Pokemon cards that everyone goes crazy for. It's like they've cracked the code on creating desire.
They've mastered the art of scarcity. When something is perceived as rare or exclusive, it automatically becomes more desirable. Think about how you can apply this to your business. Maybe it's launching a limited edition product line, creating a VIP experience for your most loyal customers, or offering exclusive content behind a paywall.
It's about making people feel like they're part of something special. And Pokemon takes that a step further by building a whole community around it. I mean, look at Pokemon Go. It's like they took the game out of the living room and into the real world.
Pokemon Go is a brilliant example of harnessing the power of augmented reality to create a shared experience. It wasn't just about catching Pokemon. It was about exploring your city, meeting other players, and working together to achieve goals.
And I know I'm not the only one who remembers seeing crowds of people huddled around a park trying to catch that rare Pokemon. It created a real sense of community, and that's something that's incredibly valuable for any brand.
Absolutely. In his upcoming book, Gameful Mindset, Dr. Elhanan Gazit talks about how companies can foster a sense of community by creating platforms for interaction, encouraging user-generated content, and even hosting real-world events that bring people together.
It's about tapping into that inherent human desire for connection and belonging. Speaking of Gameful Mindset, we have to talk about how Pokemon has embraced new technology to stay relevant.
They've evolved from simple Game Boy games to a multimedia empire encompassing anime movies, trading cards, and mobile apps. And they're constantly innovating, experimenting with new technologies like augmented reality and virtual reality.
Pokemon Go is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is how those gaming technologies are now starting to make their way into the business world.
We're seeing the rise of augmented reality and mixed reality in retail healthcare education and even manufacturing. It's about creating more immersive and engaging experiences for customers and employees.
So this isn't just about catching Pokemon anymore. This is about understanding how the principles that make games so engaging can be applied to real-world problems and opportunities. It's about adopting a gameful mindset.
Precisely. And that's why every CEO needs to understand that the future of augmented reality, mixed reality, and extended reality is now. It's not just a futuristic concept. It's a reality that's rapidly shaping how we interact with the world around us. Think about it this way. Pokémon Go. It wasn't just a game. It was a cultural phenomenon. It showed the world how AR could be used to create engaging and immersive experiences.
And it wasn't just for kids either. I remember seeing people of all ages out on the streets, phones in hand, hunting for Pokémon.
Yeah. It really blurred the lines between the real world and the virtual world. And that's what's so exciting about AR, MR, XR. It has the potential to transform the way we live, work, and play.
So how can CEOs start thinking about applying these technologies to their businesses? It all seems so futuristic.
It might seem that way, but AR, MR, XR is already being used in a variety of industries. Like in retail, companies are using AR to create virtual try-on experiences so customers can see how clothes would look on them without having to physically try them on.
That's a great example. It solves a real problem for customers.
Yeah.
And it creates a more fun and engaging shopping experience.
Exactly. And in healthcare, AR, MR/XR is being used for everything, from training surgeons to helping patients with rehabilitation.
I've even heard of companies using VR to create simulations of dangerous work environments, so employees can train in a safe and controlled setting.
That's right. It shows how AR/XR can be used to improve safety and efficiency.
So the possibilities really are endless. It's just a matter of finding the right application for your business.
And that's where a gameful mindset can really help. It's about being open to new ideas, experimenting, and not being afraid to fail.
It's about thinking outside the box and finding creative solutions to problems.
And it's about understanding that the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed yet.
So what can CEOs do to start developing a gameful mindset within their organizations?
Well, there are a few key things. First, encourage a culture of experimentation. Create a space where employees feel safe to try new things and fail fast.
That makes sense. It's about fostering a growth mindset, where failure is seen as an opportunity to learn and improve.
Right. Second, invest in training and development. Help your employees learn about new technologies and how they can be applied to your business.
So it's about equipping your team with the tools and knowledge they need to succeed.
Yes. And third, be a role model. Embrace a gameful mindset yourself and show your employees that it's okay to be curious, creative, and playful.
I love that. It's about leading by example.
Exactly. And by adopting a gameful mindset, CEOs can create organizations that are more innovative, more adaptable, and ultimately more successful.
I think that's a great place to wrap up this part of our deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from the importance of happiness engineering to the transformative power of AR, MR, XR.
Yeah, we've seen how a gameful mindset can help CEOs navigate the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century.
But before we move on to our final thoughts, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. It really is amazing how much we can learn from something like Pokémon. It's not just about the games or the merchandise. It's about understanding what makes people tick, what makes them engage and connect and come back for more.
And what's impressive is how Pokémon has stayed relevant for so long. They've adapted and evolved, but they haven't lost sight of those core values, like friendship and adventure and striving for excellence.
And those values, they resonate with people everywhere, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how old you are or where you're from. And for us as leaders, I think there's a big lesson there in how they've built such a lasting brand. It's not just about making money. It's about creating something people really care about.
It's like with those happiness engineering strategies we talked about earlier. It's clear Pokémon isn't just trying to sell you something. They're trying to create an experience that you enjoy, that makes you feel connected and leaves you wanting more.
Yeah, it's like they've tapped into that part of us that still wants to explore and discover, like when we were kids. I think we could all use a little bit of that, whether we're running a company or just living our lives.
It's about having that gameful mindset. Like Dr. Gazette says, it's about being creative and resilient and being open to trying new things. It's about seeing the world as this big game board with endless possibilities.
Which brings us back to your question. How can CEOs actually use these principles in their businesses? This happiness engineering, scarcity, community building, adaptability, and the power of AR and XR.
I think it starts with asking ourselves some tough questions. Are we really delighting our customers? Are we building a community around our brand? Are we embracing new technology and pushing the boundaries?
It's about being bold, taking risks, and being willing to learn and adapt. It's about remembering that business is ultimately about human connection.
Right, and Pokémon does that so well. They've created a world that's engaging and challenging, but also a place where people feel like they belong. And that's something every CEO should aim for.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Pokémon, I hope you've walked away with some valuable insights and maybe a new appreciation for this gameful mindset. It's not just about playing games. It's about a way of thinking that can change your business and your life.
And hey, maybe you'll even catch a few Pokemon along the way. Thanks for joining us.
Think fast, level up smart. Game on.